Shalom, family. I'm so glad all of you are here. You know, um, there's just a few things that I want to talk to you about, but I just want to start saying, good morning to all of you. I know this is kind of early compared to when I usually do my hangouts, but we are in a critical time. And I want to thank our queen, the True Royal Family, for her video that she did this morning on the California mudslides. And it really brought home a lot of things. Number one, ladies and gentlemen, we are at a time where it's critical for us to stay separated from these people as much as possible. Okay. Mingling with them can cost you your life and even um, being subjected to the same punishment that they have to go through. Good morning, everybody. So focus more on us. Let this year be about us. And what I mean by that is when we're online and we're interacting with each other, try to stay focused on interacting with your own people. I don't care what Gentiles know or what they don't know. And I think this is what disturbed me. I was looking at a video and somebody wrote a paragraph of scriptures to a Gentile who had no intentions on listening to anything this Hebrew had to say. They made it a point to say, well, the script, all that mess ain't real. That ain't real. So, the last time I got into an interaction with a caveman online, when he said that mess to me, you know what I said to him? I said, well, you are the one with the high IQ. I'm not here to prophesize to them. But if I had to prophesize or give information to anybody, that should be to our own people, y'all. Stop wasting your energy on people that don't want anything from you. They don't want to be educated about the Bible. These people are trying to stay in power. They don't care what that scripture say because the scriptures speak against them. They don't want it. Okay? Yes, exactly. Just block them. Don't waste your time putting all those scriptures out there for what? Do that with your own people. And besides, they didn't educate us. We went through K through 12 of being indoctrinated into white supremacy and accepting them as superior. That's all they did, K through 12. They didn't give you no education. So why are you educating them? Why are you trying to educate them? And this is not the time for us to be going to a Gentile saying, well, this is your punishment, this is your fate. Let them feel the pain. They haven't spared us from any pain. They have not come to change laws to make life easier for us. When did they do those things for us? So why do you feel the need to go and throw scriptures or tell them about things or go look stuff up on the internet for them? Cut all that mess out. Don't go when they ask you, oh, well, where's your proof? Don't prove anything to them. Don't prove nothing to them. They got the internet just like you. Okay. If they want to know something, they have the ability to go out there and look it up just like you. Why are you looking for anything for them? Why? And they're not looking to learn, ladies and gentlemen. They're just looking to fight. They get off on getting us upset. They get off on it. They get pure joy out of us crying in the streets and protesting, us arguing back and forth when they know they got us all upset. They actually feed off of that energy. So why are you giving them any part of your energy like that? Okay, we got to stop allowing them to feed off of anything that we have. They've done it long enough. It's time to cut that mess off. And what I'm saying to you is stop. You can't educate a hybrid. Just understand that. You cannot educate a hybrid at all. I mean, and just look in our manuscript. When have you ever seen the Most High trying to educate Hashatan? When have you ever seen that? When have you ever seen him sit down and lecture him on anything? He didn't. So then why do you feel the need to do it? Why do you feel the need to do something that our Heavenly Father is not even doing? You know, we have a giving nature because all throughout history, we were here on this earth and we had to lean on each other. So we have that giving nature, but don't let that giving nature go to people that go to these hybrids that don't deserve it. You know, and it just makes me laugh when I get trolled and the comments that you don't see, they're constantly calling us low IQ and you niggers this and you niggers that. The hybrids are going to tell us who we are. Come on, you going to let hybrids tell you who you are? Nah. You know, we reject all of that. So let this year be about this. We don't care about anything that you have to say. As far as what you're dealing with, best of luck to you. We got bigger fish to fry with each other. Let's be about ourselves. Let's be about who we are and making sure we uplift one another. Screw them. I don't care what I don't even care what they think. It's not important because see, things are getting bad. You see all the things that are going on. You know, today is what, the 11th? And look at what has happened from January 1st. Remember, we came into the Gentile New Year with them mass shooting each other. That's how we came in this year. That should be evidence that things are really about to turn horrific for them this year. We started this new year out with their mass shootings. That's how we came into the new year. Okay, exactly, Anthony Bate. That's a plague. And then from that point on, look at everything that has happened up until now. This is a clear indicator that separation, we are now at a critical time. We have to separate from these people, period. And what I'm talking about is a spiritual separation. We know we can't physically do it because of the way the society is set up, where we have to encounter them at some point in time. But spiritually, you can still disconnect from these people spiritually, period. And that's what we have to do from this point on because the plagues are increasing, y'all. That's right, Kathy. Kathy, I believe that. I believe the death angel is here. This is why we're seeing all this stuff happen. It's the death angel is already here, you know, which means we are going to soon be out of this bondage. But there's no way for you to be free if you are still clinging on to the enemy. So the disconnection from them must be spiritual. And then once you spiritually disconnect from them, spiritually connect with your own. That's where you put your energy. If somebody wants to learn about who they are, write that paragraph for them. If somebody wants to know scripture, write that paragraph for them. But if these Gentiles want to fight back and forth, don't waste your energy writing anything to these people. It's a waste of time. So we must get over these cave devils already. Get over them. Just get over them, seriously. He's turning so many things up on these people, it's not even funny. And remember, we're going to see many of our own people fall. So it was not actually shocking for me to see Oprah lose things in this process because, see, number one, the rich were supposed to take care of the poor. That's what they were supposed to do. But in this society, we see many of our own that are rich and they don't take care of the poor at all. And that's what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to take care of the poor. They don't. So you are going to see many of our own rich celebrities and people that are wealthy fall. They're going to fall, ladies and gentlemen, because they did not do what the Most High told them to do. He increased them. He gave them a blessing for being rich in this society. And they took their blessings and turned away from their own people. So Oprah is one of many that you're going to see fall. Oprah is one of many. So this is the beginning of her fall. She's going to see a lot more things in her life collapse because, right, Oprah is worth what, a billion? She was worth $1 billion. What did she do for the community here? She took her school over to Africa, and she's from Chicago, and she knows how bad the schools are in Chicago. She could have put a whole bunch of schools down there in Chicago. She could have put a bunch of them there. She went to a whole different continent to put her schools up. And then look at what happened, y'all. Some of those girls got killed at her school. Many of them got raped. They were molested. You know why? Because the Most High is showing her she should never have done that. She should have done that for the people right here that really needed those schools. So, yes, he's going to let a lot of these wealthy Black athletes and stars and these actors and actresses and musical artists, this is why they fall, y'all. Because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. This is why you see so many rappers, they get blown up and then they fall and they end up completely bankrupt with nothing. You know why? Because they didn't reach out to help their people like they were told to do it. And they're going to continue to fall. And that's the curse that's on them. So I'm not surprised, actually, by watching Oprah fall before the world. And she's going to continue to hit rock bottom because she has been no help to her own community here. She's been no help at all. Exactly. She's from Chicago. She knows what Chicago is like. First of all, I don't believe Oprah is going to run. I think the chatter is out here, but I think when it all comes down to it, she won't run. I think Oprah's going to be dealing with so many demons in her life. She's not going to be focused on running. Yes, the Most High is. That's why that mudslide happened. That's why that mudslide happened. Yeah, 70 million can feed a lot of people on this earth, True Royal. Absolutely. And it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. And remember, it is a fat chance for many of these wealthy people to even get into the kingdom. Many of they're damn near all of them are not going to make it. Yeah, it's sad watching her fall, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. The Most High did not say we can't be rich. He didn't say that. But he did say to the rich, you are supposed to help the poor. And as long as they keep failing to do that, they're going to continue to fall. It can feed a lot of people. That could have been loans to help people start businesses, $70 million. It could have been used for many things. Many things, y'all. Good morning to everybody that's just coming in. Good morning. Thank you, Rosie Perry. Okay. Now, those of you that have Black Junction, I want you to start looking at your monetized channels, especially if you monetized. I looked in mine and I have about $16 in my Black Junction monetized videos, which I was not expecting to see. So some of y'all that are doing videos, check that out. I mean, he's already putting funds in people's accounts. I mean, I know that's not a lot of money, but it's happening. And I want to encourage some of y'all that are not doing videos on YouTube to consider doing videos over on Black Junction. Okay, consider doing it. The more voices that we lift up in this hour is critical. We all got something to offer, believe it or not. We all do. And what you may think is not important for you to say really is important, you know? And to be honest with you, the Radical Home Goddess, when you were taking a month off, I was so disappointed. I don't want to be on here without your voice. I really don't. I think it's critical that you keep your information out here. I think it's important because I don't care. The hell with the people that don't want to hear things. There's many of us that do want to hear your message. And we do like what you say. And we do like all the research that you do. You do a lot of research, probably more than the average YouTuber. So why take that away from us when we really want it? So, you know, we have to start pushing aside the people that don't want to hear our message. And sometimes it's our own people. That's what you have to understand. Just the other day, I had two men try to bring the gender war to my channel, and I blocked both of them. It hurts when we have to do that to our own people, but sometimes that's just the way it is. But don't let the naysayers quash your voice out here, because if it wasn't for you, many of us would know absolutely nothing about Fukushima. Many of us would still be eating seafood. It's because of you that I don't touch a drop of seafood anymore. I don't let anybody in my house touch that mess anymore. So you may think that you haven't made a difference. I'm here to tell you, you have. Okay? You have. So we can't afford to have your voice extinguished out here. We just can't. You bring too much to the table for us to lose that now. So it's hard. It's even hard for me sometimes when I see some of our own people go against things that I'm saying. But keep your head up and just know that everything that you have to offer is appreciated. So you must stay out here and put your message out here. It really is. We are in a critical time, very critical time. And to be honest with you, the radical home goddess, I'm starting to think many of the flus that have hit the US is connected to Fukushima. The flu is exceptionally bad this year. You know, and to be honest with you, I really truly believe it is connected to the radiation and everything that has gone around the world. I think it's now an environmental thing from Fukushima that's showing up in the form as the flu. I really believe that. I mean, we've had bad flu years before. This year is exceptionally bad. And there's a lot of flu deaths going on. A lot. Let me show you something. I'm going to screen share something to you guys. Hold on one second. Here it is. I want to show you this. Let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here. Let me see if I can do this. Let's see. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. All right. This is a 21-year-old bodybuilder. Okay. He was 21 years old, lifted weights every day. Let me see if I can find another article so you can see what he looked like. Let's see. He's a Caucasoid male. Let me play the video. Maybe it's in there. And he just died of the flu. 21 years old, bodybuilder, went to the gym all the time, very fit, right? He was also a personal trainer. And this dude got taken out by the flu. Don't let it go. I'm going to start it over. Okay. Okay. You see that? All right. Again, I really believe this is all connected to Fukushima. I really do. Because it seems like this flu, it has killed children too. I was looking at a 12-year-old that just died from the flu. Not to mention the fact, the radical home goddess, they're dying fast. You see this bodybuilder, he died less than 24 hours after being taken to the hospital with the flu. Okay, less than 24 hours after going to the hospital, he was dead. I was just reading about a 12-year-old that just died from the flu. And they are saying a lot of infants now have the flu in the country too. I've been reading about this. They said a lot of infants. more than they have seen in a long time, are hit with the flu in this country. So there is something definitely environmental going on in America, that we are seeing such a fast influx of the flu and fast deaths from the flu in the country. People are dying quickly after they get hit with the flu. So it's definitely something environmental going on. And if you really think about it, with all of the things that have happened, we had those hurricane hits, it could be a combination of things that were swept. I'm starting to think that the hurricanes swept a lot of the radiation in the country even faster, because this is just unbelievable. I mean, I kid you not, every single day I'm reading stories on flu deaths and the flu just sweeping through the country. So, it's critical that you try, and I know it's not always possible, you know, especially if you have sick family members, there's not much you can do to get around that. But if you can, you know, try to do things that are really healthy, if you take certain supplements, or me, I put a lot of things in my smoothie. Like, I get up every single morning and I have a smoothie with my black seed oil. I have raw honey, I have raw cherry, and I have all that mixing in with my smoothie. And I also have I also put aloe juice in there as well. So try to do whatever you can to keep yourselves and your families healthy, because I really think this particular strain of flu is deadly. It's not. I could probably, let me see, because yesterday I saw like four different stories on flu deaths. Let me just see. Flu deaths. Yeah. See, flu deaths soar by 77%. Okay. More flu deaths reported in the Bay Area. And they said California is really going through it. So babies and children hit particularly hard by the flu. I'm telling you guys, these stories are out here every single day. Flu deaths are up just before North Carolina's season peak. Houston, Harris County officials working to prevent flu deaths. This is crazy. Dallas County records five more deaths from flu. I'm telling you, you guys, please be careful. Please be careful. Barrington, student 10 dies of flu complications. So, what I'm saying, especially to you, I'm going to stop this share. I'm going to stop this screen share right now. But what I'm saying exceptionally to you, Radical Home Goddess, just look at what's happening here. Like I said, I really truly believe this is all tied to Fukushima. When have we ever we've seen bad flu years happen, but I'm just telling you, I have never seen so many reports of flu deaths in America before in my life like I see now. And I start seeing the flu deaths towards the end of last year. That's when I first start noticing it. But now these stories are coming out every day. So just please take that into consideration, because those are critical things for you to talk about. You being gone for a month, I just don't, I don't even want to think about it. So please hang in there, queen. Hang in there. Yes, they're trying to use it also. I want you to know they also are trying to use this flu scare to, to scare people into running out and getting the flu shots. They're trying to scare people into doing that. So just be careful and, keep things that you need for radiation. That's right. The iodine, the ghosts. Exactly. You want to get iodine and you want to get a good, powerful vitamin C, and just try your best to keep yourself healthy. Absolutely. Phil, thank you for being here. The Advice Show. Judgment is definitely here, y'all. It is here. And also the True Royal Family also had brought out, and she's right. Minister Farrakhan have been talking about the weather being a tool used against America. And sure enough, we are seeing it. We are seeing it, y'all. And also, yeah, don't, be careful. They give free flu shots here at the local Rite Aid. I never go and get them. I don't care about what this government gives out for free. And they're not sticking my arm with that junk that they call a flu shot. Never. But they give them out for free. I can literally drive around the corner and get a free flu shot right now if I wanted to. Mhm. Yeah, diatomaceous earth actually makes your body go through a daily detox. That's what it does, which is really good. I always have, a tablespoon in the morning, and now that I've seen how the flu is sweeping through the country, I've also been doing a tablespoon at night. Mhm. Colloidal silver, that's one thing. Our people are always a wealth of information. Y'all know the supplements, you know the things out here to get. Right. Yeah, JW, I agree. Don't get the flu shots. Never. Exactly, Phil. Exactly. Don't get the flu shots, y'all. There are so many alternatives you can use to get over the flu if you do get hit with it. Well, you know, California, those mudslides happen because of all of the fires that took place. All of the areas that got hit with fire are now getting hit with the mudslides because, see, the trees and the shrubbery actually held the ground in place. So once those trees burned and all the vegetation burned, there is nothing holding that ground together now. So, but did you see the size of the boulders that hit many of those houses? And, I was looking at one report that said if you see like 8 feet of mud outside the house, there's 8 feet inside the house too. It's literally up to the ceilings in those homes. It's not just on the outside. I mean, the only way they can get in there and rescue those people is by helicopter. You can't drive in there, with the mud. It doesn't even matter if you got a high water vehicle. That's not good enough, especially for mud. So the only way they can do it is getting in there and getting, yeah, you're right, radical home goddess, getting in there with the helicopters. And those people that are trapped in those homes are somehow going to have to try to make it onto their roofs. That's the only way. Yeah, you brought up a good point, Radical Home Goddess, because they use a lot of those fire retardants. Um, on, to get the fire extinguished. All of that is mixed in that soil. All of it's mixed in the soil. So they're dealing with all of the chemicals they used on the fire, the soil, all that's mixed in there. Absolutely. You can't deny, absolutely, Phil, you can't deny that this is not biblical. You can't deny it. There's no doubt about it. Even those fires were biblical because the sizes of the fire, I think it was like 283,000 acres. That's like outrageous for a fire to even be that big. Look, we are just starting out this way. Can you imagine what it's going to be like by the time spring and summer comes in California? This is just this is just absolutely crazy. Right, Kathy, I agree with that too. The cancer cases will probably be increasing there, and right, and then they're going to increase. Everything's going to be increased in the country from all of these disasters. So don't be surprised if you see skyrocketing gas prices by spring and summer because they got to pay for all of these disasters. And and I think it's brilliant too, the way the Most High is taking out these people. What do they love the most? Money. Money. Bin Laden, I was watching Bin Laden, one of his videos, and he made a comment in the video saying, "We're going to keep your soldiers over here because if we keep them here and keep them fighting, then we keep you spending money. So you're going to end up spending a fortune and we're going to kill you anyway." And I said, you know what? He made a good point. If you want to hurt America, hit America in the pocket. Look at how America's being hit in the pocket right now. You have all of the major hurricanes that went through Puerto Rico and the US Virgin Islands, Texas, Florida, and a variety of different states. You have the California fires. And believe it or not, they spend a lot of money on all these mass shootings too. That Vegas mass shooting, all that, all the investigation and lawsuits and everything that comes out of that, that's more money from their pocket on that stuff. So as long as you keep all these disasters going, America is going to be financially breaking after a while. But the worst part is they're going to turn that mess on us, trying to shake you down for more tax money and gas money, and travel is going to cost more to travel and all that stuff. And so believe me, they're going to turn around and hit us up too. That's how you got to bring a country like America down, with disasters and keeping them spending all kinds of money on junkies and everything else. That's how you bring a nation down. Yes. You know what, Phil? When you brought up the blue scorpion venom, I actually went out to research that. You can buy it. You can buy that. You don't need a prescription or anything to buy it. And I see that in Cuba actually use a lot of the blue scorpion venom in Cuba. I'm glad you put that out there because I didn't know anything about that. Phil from the Advice Show, I did not know anything out there. But it's good to know that information. I never knew anything like that existed. Oh no, I didn't buy any, but I did see it was available online. I didn't buy none. I just actually just wanted to read more about it. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get the information about it. A Nigerian brother put me onto it. Yeah, that's that's priceless information right there. But when you mentioned that in your video, I actually immediately went out and started reading about the blue scorpion venom. But you know what? I have to believe it's true only because the Most High gave us everything on this earth to cure ourselves from sickness. Everything is right here on this planet. He said, even in Genesis, the fruit is food and the seeds in the fruit is medicine. But what are we taught in this society? Oh, throw the seeds away. Oh, get rid of those seeds or get seedless fruit. You know, we don't need seedless fruit. Let the seed stay in there. You know, if you eat seedless fruit, ladies and gentlemen, that means you are eating GMO fruit. That fruit is GMO. So you definitely want your grapes to be seeded. You want your watermelon to be seeded. You want all of that seeded. See, just always know fruit without seeds means you are eating GMO, period. And you want to stick with non GMO as much as possible. Right, exactly. 12 keys to freedom, Frankenfood. That's exactly what it is. If the Most High did not want your fruit to have no seeds, he would have put it out here like that. Okay. And if it doesn't have seeds, then it's not fertile. It can't go on and create more plants. And that's not the way it was intended to be. It was intended for everything to be fruitful and multiply on the planet. And that's our plants, our trees, and all of those things. How can that happen if you're going to remove the fruit? I mean, the seeds from the fruit. Right. We don't stay away from those type of things. You are definitely eating GMO. Just understand that. Those GMO crops kill the insects. I was reading how many of our bees that we need to pollinate everything out here, including fruit trees and all. The instant that a bee pollinates a GMO field, it dies instantly. The bees die instantly. Any pollinated bug that goes to a crop that's GMO and tries to pollinate it, they die instantly. That's butterflies, that's bees. It's a variety of bugs that pollinate. And that's why so many of them are dying. But they're not going to tell you the truth. They're just say, oh, well, we don't know why they're dying out. We don't know what's killing them. Yes, they do. They know what's killing them. And many of the things that are killing the bugs are these GMO crops that are out here. That's killing many of the bugs. And no matter how much you hate bugs, they are a necessity. Bees are a necessity for pollinating even your garden. I love seeing the bees when I go out and grow my garden. And when I go outside, I love seeing the bees out there because I know they're taking care of my tomato plants and my peppers and everything I got out there. So I'm sure to have those things if the bees are pollinating it. So you definitely want to see that. You even if you're a type of person that hate bugs, you don't want your bees to go away. You don't want the butterflies to go away. You want those things to remain around because otherwise it's going to be a big problem if we're growing things and there's nothing around to pollinate. Yeah, I don't kill any of them. My dad had a shed with this was so weird. My dad had a shed, and on one side of the shed, carpenter bees got in. And I had to get rid of them because they're wood boring, they destroy the wood. So I had to get rid of them. But all they did was move to another location. Here's the weird thing about these carpenter bees. Whenever I show up in my yard, do you know they leave me alone? But I notice when my neighbor goes out in her yard, they attack her. It's weird. Why this happens, I don't know. I don't know. You would think that they would be coming at me. They don't. They literally leave me alone. And I don't know if it's because they saw me every day in the yard and they just got to know who I was. I don't know. Before I had to get rid of their nests. But I kid you not, these bees do not bother me. I can walk out there all day and all night and they will not bother me. I can't say all night because bees are blind in the dark. So they can only see you during the day. They can't see at night. I can't stand I did not like bugs either, but I learned to appreciate them now that, since I started gardening and everything, I learned to appreciate what they do. I love honey. I have raw honey every day, y'all. Every day I have it in my smoothie. I have a smoothie. It's good, especially if you are having any type of issue with arthritis. You get the raw honey. Like if you're having problems with your knees or swelling or inflammation, you should be using raw honey. Even if you don't want to do it in a smoothie, you just want to add it to some tea or lemon water or something like that, just add it in with that. Yes, right. Honey is a powerful antioxidant. That is so correct, y'all. So correct. I love honey too, Phil. I buy raw honey and keep it in my house all the time, and I use it literally every single day in my smoothie. I add some raw honey in along with my fruits and vegetables and everything, and I love it. Yes, honey is very healing. That is very true. And so is vitamin C. If you have any type of physical injury, vitamin C is great at healing. In fact, the last time my son had a surgery, the doctor told him, get out there and get a bottle of vitamin C. It'll help promote the healing and you'll actually heal faster. And that was one of the things he wrote a script for pain and everything, but he also put on there, told my son to get vitamin C because during the healing process, it would promote the healing and he would actually heal faster from the vitamin C. So anytime you get any cuts or injury, you definitely want to stay on getting that vitamin C in your system to promote the healing. Yeah, there's a lot of great honey out there. Absolutely. Oh yeah. You know what, Regina Davison, one day I went out to my garden and a spider built this huge nest across my garden. And at first I was like, what the heck? You know why he did that? That thing was catching all kinds of insects in my garden. He was catching so many, he just decided to build his whole nest across my garden. But it was okay because by the time a heavy rainstorm came by, it literally took the thing down. But that spider was in its glory. Yes. You know, let me tell you something. I do a garden every year. There is no greater feeling than being in a supermarket and you don't need their produce. I love it. I love that feeling. You hear me? I love that feeling. The fact that I can walk in there and I don't need their tomatoes, I don't need their carrots, I don't need their peppers. It's just, it's priceless having that feeling. And you can get the non GMO seeds and just grow all that stuff. Do you know carrots are literally carefree? You can grow carrots and just walk away until they're ready for you to get out of the ground. You can give them some fertilizer, but carrots are one of those things that are completely carefree. One year, I put carrots in the ground, and in the fall, literally forgot about my carrots out there. So the carrots were in the ground all through the winter. And when spring came and I started cleaning out my garden beds and everything, I saw the carrots. Do you know those carrots ended up being the sweetest I've ever had in my life? Just from them being in the ground over the winter months. When I finally pulled those carrots out of the ground, not only were they still intact, they were sweet, super sweet. And there's a lot of things you can grow even if you're in a cold area in the fall. Do you know you can grow garlic in cold weather? Garlic. So if you like fresh garlic, put that in the ground in the fall, and that stuff will be ready for you to eat come the next season. Easy. Don't Once you put garlic in the ground, you literally don't have to do nothing, including you don't even have to fertilize it if you don't want to. But the garlic will absolutely do its thing over the winter months. And then when the new season come, you will be able to pull those garlics out of the ground and eat them. Greens. If you love collard greens do phenomenal in cold weather. Phenomenal. I had greens growing in the snow, y'all. Greens growing in the snow. It's a very resilient plant. I mean, even the cold weather and snow don't kill a collard green plant. So there are so many things you can grow. If you like to grow indoors, tomato plants do exceptionally well indoors. I grew a tomato plant indoor. I didn't do it this year, but the year before, I literally had 20 pounds of tomatoes from a plant that I grew indoors, y'all. 20 pounds of tomatoes. And that was from one plant, growing one plant indoors. One plant gave me 20 pounds. So there's many things you can do, even if you don't have a lot of space. As long as you can get a pot, then you can grow something that your family can eat and enjoy. You can do a patio garden. Those are really good. A lot of people in my area, that's what they do. They don't feel like digging out the ground and doing all that stuff. So they just get a whole bunch of large pots, line them across their patio, and they do a patio garden. In fact, one of my neighbors that had a patio garden grew one of the biggest watermelons I've ever seen in my life in a patio garden. You should have seen the size of this watermelon. She did it in a patio garden. The thing was ginormous. Moringa is also a very good thing. I used to have a moringa tree, Radical Home Goddess, and we had one of those ice storms, and the ice storm killed it. And I never put another one back there, and I really need to get another moringa tree in my yard. But you can actually grow the tree, and it grows pods that look very similar to a string bean. And it actually is not bad if you eat it right off of the tree and you cook it up, and it's very good. Right, you can get non-GMO seeds, absolutely. A lot of times, like if you go down to your farmer's market, a lot of them will have non-GMO seeds. And once you get your plants established, you can get all of your seeds directly from your plant. You don't even have to buy it anymore. All you need is one good crop, and then from that one good crop, you can get all of your seeds. Never have to buy any more seeds again. So I just wanted to gather us together just to just let us, just let everybody know, as we see these plagues unfold in this nation, keep your distance from these people. It's critical that you do it now more than ever. You don't have to have a green thumb in order to grow things. Tomato plants, you don't have to do nothing but pour water on them. You can give them fertilizer now. You can get like an organic fertilizer and give that to your plant, but they're pretty carefree. You literally don't have to do too much of nothing to get a lot of tomatoes. You really don't. Tomato plants will just keep throwing as long as it's warm. Now, tomato plants love exceptional heat. On those days when you have those 90-degree days, your tomato plant and your watermelon love those extra hot days. So the hotter it is, the more they actually thrive out there. There are certain plants that love that intense heat. Well, the problem with them, Cap, is they interfere with things on this earth too much. You know, plants don't need to be GMO. I mean, how did our ancestors survive out here if plants need to be GMO? We survived on this earth without doing any tampering with our fruits and vegetables. But they always feel the need to always interfere. You know what their problem is? They're impatient. So they want everything to speed up fast and and do all these unnatural things that are not even necessary. Yeah, it's just like the thing with the chicken. You look at the 1950s chicken, that's your normal chicken. But now they got these chickens bigger than dogs. I mean, seriously, many of these chickens are bigger than the average small dog. And that is just abnormal. Yeah, I like a lot of the green leafy vegetables. I usually grow like 4 or 5 different varieties of lettuce out in my garden because I like the different lettuce mixture in my salad. So I'll grow like the Simpson black seed lettuce. I have the romaine lettuce is really easy to grow. I like the butter crunch. I have that. So you don't have to just have iceberg. You can really there's many different varieties of lettuce that are good. Mhm. I like buying coconuts over the summer. I'll buy coconuts, and I like the natural, water and everything that comes from a coconut. I usually will I'll keep that aside to put in my smoothie. Yeah, and, and I hate the way they always want to make you pay more for organic food. It's almost like they encourage you to eat the GMO stuff, and I hate that. And that's really what they're doing it for anyway. The more people eating that GMO food, then that shortens your life expectancy. And that's really what it's about. It's keeping you um speeding your life expectancy up so they can get you out of here quicker. They're all about depopulation and things of that nature. And they always talk in that depopulation. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, it's all psychological. It's all psychological. Do you know 47% of the land in the United States is not even being used? 47%. I want you to look this up. 47% of the land in the US is not even being used. But these people want you to believe there are too many people on this planet and they have to thin you out. We are being lied to each and every day. 47% of the US is not even being occupied. There is so much land in this country that's not being used. It's not even funny. So there is no population problem. The problem is they want us out of here so they have access to more resources. That's what this depopulation thing. See, the greedy people want more, getting you out of the way, free up resources that they want to hog up. And that's all it is. You die out, they get more resources, they get more land, they get more toys to enjoy on the planet if they have less people on the earth. And that's all it's about. It's selfishness, it's greed. Exactly. That's exactly. So they got to psychologically keep you in just trying to psychologically play with you all the time because that's how you control a population, is keeping them believing your lie. Then it's easy to manipulate you. No, there, come on. The Most High made this earth and it's not enough room for everybody. Come on. You can't believe that. You can't. He's smart enough to make this entire planet, but he was not smart enough to make it big enough for everybody. Come on. You absolutely can't believe that. And who's telling you this? The people that are dying out. The people that are dying out are telling you this. Come on. At this stage in the game, we should not be believing anything from them. And if you have any doubts, we all got access to the internet. We can all research these things. We all have access to information and we can all research. You don't have to automatically believe everything that comes from them, and you shouldn't. History tells us that we shouldn't. All of the things that they're doing as far as opioids is not going to work. You can't give immunity to a bunch of junkies and then round up everybody else and put them in jail. It's just not working. And it's going to continue to fail. It's such a slap in the face. They did not do anything for crack addicts except for what we know. They stormed the house, arrested everybody in the house. And remember, if there were any dogs or cats or anything in the house, they literally killed the pets right there in the house. They shot them to death. That's how they came in on crack houses, or if somebody had crack in a house, that's how they came in on us. But they give immunity. Amnesty is given to drug users that are white in America. Amnesty. So they are never wrong in the eyes of the law, and therefore they can't be arrested, but they can be hauled off to drug court and then placed into rehab. That's the worst that's going to happen to a white junkie on opioids in America. They get drug court, rehab, and another chance. And to this day, they're still putting Black people in for drug possession. They're still getting us on it, but they're letting them go with amnesty. Well, yeah, all of the fentanyl is coming from China. That's true. All of it's coming in from China. Even the fentanyl in Mexico actually originated from China and before it comes across the border. And look, um, they are using drones now to get the drugs across the border. And even the border patrol say it's impossible for them to catch all the drones. See, the drug cartels are always going to stay a step ahead. Make no mistake about it. They will always stay a step ahead. Now, they'll get a few drones, but the vast majority of them, they can't even get. And they're even admitting that they cannot get all of the drones coming across the border with drugs. Hey, J Dog. Well, yeah, Kim, I remember back in the day, the homes that used to explode all throughout this country from people making meth in those homes. The home would explode. There used to be home explosions all the time because of the meth labs that were in them. But now most of the meth is coming in from Mexico, and they're saying that meth is actually a lot more pure than the meth that these people made in these homes all throughout America. Yeah, that was the Pennsylvania governor. That was the governor. They are scared out of their minds in Pennsylvania over the opioid deaths. It's been so many. They are literally petrified over in that state now. That's why you saw the governor come out and make that announcement. They are petrified. And remember, only 22 of the 50 states report to the CDC. So when they give you that 64,000 number, you're still not getting everybody. You're still not getting all the states. So that's really um, not a true count at all. But that's what they go by. And personally, I think they're too embarrassed and completely ashamed at how bad it is in this country. And just watch some of those documentaries on the opioid plague that's going on. Those white people can't even get through talking about their family members or even the drug calls they got to go out on if they're a first responder without crying because that's how bad it is. It is bad. Personally, I think whatever number the CDC gives you, you could probably double or triple that number as the true death count in America. And it goes up every year. So they are now estimating, I've seen anywhere from 72,000 to 74,000 deaths from 2017, and it goes up every single year. Yeah, I mean, I live right next to Pennsylvania. I can get in my car and be in Pennsylvania in 20 minutes. That's how close I am to Pennsylvania. And it's really bad. He's not exaggerating at all. It is exceptionally bad in Pennsylvania. And see, Pennsylvania is one of these northern, very racist states. It's like the Alabama of the Northeast. That's what Pennsylvania's like. There's a lot of hicks and a lot of backwards kind of white people like that lives up around those mountainous Poconos and everything. A lot of backwards kind of white people that are real racist that live in Pennsylvania. So I would say if I had to compare it to an equivalent, I would pick Alabama. Pennsylvania is the Alabama of the Northeast. Well, yeah, I mean, they always mocked us. Unfortunately, they will mock us down to their last breath. But I guess the mudslide is for not giving us our 40 acres and a mule, huh? What do y'all think? Maybe if they would have given us our 40 acres and a mule, and they wouldn't be looking at a mudslide today. Oh, yeah, Pennsylvania is hick, especially in certain parts. Absolutely. The more you get around the Pennsylvania mountains, the more backwards they are. Seriously, they really are. Yeah, Pennsylvania. That's about right. Now, the ones that are around the cities and suburbs, they're still racist, but the ones that live around the mountainous regions of Pennsylvania, no, they're just like your whites down there in Alabama, out in rural area Alabama. That's what they're like. Oh yeah, racial profiling is very heavy over in Pennsylvania. Yes. Well, how they handle their drug addiction is on them, but everything they got in place is apparently failing. Okay, if you got to declare a disaster emergency, then everything you're doing is failing. But again, it's too much ego to admit their failure in this entire drug plague that's going on. They're not going to admit it. But we can see plain and clear everything they're doing is failing. If you see your numbers going up and your people are still dropping dead, and you're still saying, no, 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 we can't arrest people and we can't do this. It's public, not a crime. It's not a criminal issue. It's a public health issue. You've been saying that for years, and your numbers keep going up. The death toll keeps going up. Obviously, it's not the right thing to do. But again, you are not going to tell these people with their inflated egos and their dying need to always be the leaders of everything that. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that anything they're doing is wrong. So all we can do is step back and watch the carnage unfold. And that's exactly what we're doing. Remember, they don't want no advice from us black and brown people, so don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. The hell with that. We'll give advice to each other. Plain and simple. And somebody said to me, I remember some white person said to me, okay, if we give you 40 acres, what y'all gonna do with the mule? I said, don't worry about it. Just give it to us. Don't worry about what I do with anything. If you said you were going to give it, just give it. Give the 40 acres and a mule and then move the hell on. It makes me laugh how if the question is about reparations for us, they want you to answer a series of what you going to do with the money? What you going to do? First of all, did you see them question anybody else on reparations? I don't see them asking those Japanese people that were put in internment camps what they were going to do with the money. But when it comes down to us, everything's in question. Get out of here. And they do have tractors out here, right? You don't have to give people a mule. You can give them 40 acres and a tractor. It don't have to be no livestock at all. you know, you needed a mule back in those times because a lot of people did not have tractors. Now we're in a day and age of a tractor. You don't need to give anybody no damn mule. Not only that, the tractor, by the way, is a black invention. So we're just taking something that belongs to us anyway. Believe me, with 47% of American land unoccupied, they got more than enough to give each one of us 40 acres if they really wanted to. But they don't want to do it. Remember, they don't want to give us nothing. Well, Trump is going to run CK Nelson. Trump is going to run only the brown immigrants out of here. Okay. And I can tell you, I worked in corporate America. In the company that I worked in, there were a lot of illegal Canadians in the company that I worked in. There's a lot of Canadian. You see, they can blend in very easy because they're English speaking. Okay. So because they speak English and they're from Canada, they just blend right in with the rest of the white population. But they don't bother them. And they are fully aware that many of them don't even have green cards, and they still give them jobs and have them working out here. So believe me, Trump is only snatching the brown immigrants out of here. Those are the only ones he want gone, and the black, because we already know they ordered the Haitians out of here. So the Haitians are going to be out of here soon too. But as far as these white illegals that are here, they ain't gonna mess with them. They're not gonna mess with the white illegals here. And I know they're here because I worked with them. And I know they're here. Yeah, there's a lot of illegal Eastern Europeans here. There's a lot of illegal Canadians here. There's a lot of all over Europe. A lot of these Europeans are illegal. Many of them are. And don't even get me started on the Chinese. The China, man, Chinatown is loaded in illegals. Loaded. And they ain't messing with them. But they gonna round up these Mexicans and all of these South Americans, Haitians, or anybody dark. Those are the ones they gonna get the hell out of here. And he's already started. So Trump don't give a shit about no DACA. He don't care. He wants these people out of here. And he's getting them out of here. They had their biggest raid on Wednesday with the 7-Elevens around the country. That was their biggest raid so far for this year. And there's more to come. They want these people out of here. And, and trust me, he's going to make good on it. He's already making good on it as we speak. He's already making good on it. Oh, yeah, Chinatown always. That's why so many of these Chinese people can barely speak English. Many of them are illegal. But see, they won't mess with Chinese people, but I would say there's probably as many illegal Chinese people as they are Mexicans in America. But they don't mess with them Chinese people. Yeah. Yeah, Russians too. Yeah, a lot of these Europeans and Eastern Europeans in this country are illegal. But see, they help them pad the numbers up, so they're not going to really mess with them. And they're not worried about the Asians, just like Phil from the Advice Show told us. The Asians don't challenge them on white supremacy. So they're not going to mess with the Asian illegals, but so much either. Oh, you're talking about that teacher. Wasn't that Alabama? I know it was somewhere, or Louisiana. I think it was Louisiana. The teacher that the black cop threw her butt down on the ground. And I said, well, isn't that what they've done to us? I didn't feel nothing when I saw it. If anything, it don't happen to them enough. It needs to happen more often. Yeah, yeah, I Christopher Clipper, I do believe that was Louisiana. Well, it's so iffy. The US got so many enemies. It's so hard to tell if it's gonna be North Korea, J-Dog, or even Iran. This country got so many damn enemies. It's almo I don't know. At first I thought North Korea, but then when I saw what happened over in Iran, it could be Iran. It could be the Persians. Yeah. But Future 5001, New York actually has the biggest Jewish population in the country. The biggest population of them is concentrated in New York. But here in New Jersey, and I'm sure the Radical Home Goddess knows this because she's in New Jersey too. The more north you go, the more Jews there are. The closer you get to New York, the more Jews there are in New Jersey. There's a lot of them here too, but New York actually has the biggest population of them. And many of them, ladies and gentlemen, look this up. Many of them are on Section 8 and welfare. Look this up. I kid you not. It's a huge chunk of the New York Jews that are on welfare and Section 8, y'all. And the stories are out there. But they'll talk about black people and welfare, but it's a lot of them Jews that are sitting there on Section 8 and welfare in New York. A lot of them. Yeah, but they're actually filthy. I don't even go in their shops, Radical Home Goddess, because growing up, I saw how bad they treated black people in those stores. When you go into Now, a lot of them will sell kosher things, but you got to be careful going into them because just like a lot of non-black merchants, a lot of times they're nasty to the black population. So you don't want to just go in there and assume that it's okay to be in there. Because I have seen growing up, I seen some of the Jewish stores, and when people went in there, especially black people, they'll treat the black people like crap up in those stores. So it kind of turned me away from going in there. Oh yeah, yeah. That's why when you see welfare fraud, it's not unusual to see Jews all mixed up in it because they are huge welfare recipients in Section 8. Those are their two big things. Oh yeah, the Jews run virtually all of the big things that you see on earth, entertainment, the movie industry, and all that stuff, sports. They really got their hand in everything. Wall Street, yes. I mean, all of it. Remember, they are the offspring of the ones that financed the slave boats. You're looking at the offspring. When you look at them, you're looking at the offspring of the people that did that to us. The ones that financed the slave trades are the Jews that you're looking at today. Their offspring. Yes, Phil, I actually saw a video with them roughing the African people up as they were putting them on the bus. I should have did the video. Maybe I will. But there's a video of them with them handcuffed and actually shoving these Africans onto buses to get them out of Israel. And I was watching that. Um, I got to go back and look. I'm not sure if it was Press TV or RT News. It was one of those, but yeah, they were being real rough with them and everything, getting them onto buses to get them out. And they were literally snatching these Africans off of their jobs and on the streets. If they saw you on the street, they were just snatching you up and throwing you on these buses to get rid of you. So a lot of those Africans are being caught off guard. It's not like they gave you notice and remove you from the country. They are just randomly snatching those Africans up. So you may go out and not come back home. Yeah, me too. I do too. I wish our people would stop getting involved in the military. That, please, that's an understatement. That should have been done a long time ago. There's no way I'm going to shed my blood for a country that kills and oppress my people. It's just not a hell, a fat chance in hell. Yes, I heard that too, Decent D. Israel has the second, I believe, highest skin cancer rate in the entire world. So, how the hell are you from that region and you can't even handle the sun? And plus, they look out of place, in my opinion, in that region. You got all these black and brown people all through the Middle East, and then you have these pale people sitting in this patch of land over there, and they just look so out of place. Well, Leotis Brown Jr., that's true, but it takes money to build a military. It does. It takes money. If we wanted our own police force, it takes money to do all of that stuff. So we would have to be willing to put the money up. If not, then those things are not going to be possible. You can't have a military for free. You can't have your own police force for free. So those things cost money. So we can say those things in theory, but if we're not willing to put up the funding so that those things are possible, then it's kind of counterproductive always talking about it. And unfortunately, many of our people, they don't want to do that. So we are still stuck under this white man and his unlawful laws and everything else. Yeah, well, they always get cancer from the sun. You know, sunscreen has been on the shelf for decades. Okay. That's why I always put in their face, how the hell you been here all this time, claim to have high IQs, claim to be superior, and you can't even put a decent sunscreen on the shelf. They always get mad at me when I bring that up, but it's the truth. But you want to tell me you are smart and superior and better than everybody else on the planet, but we're seeing you look, all summer long, and I kid you not, here in New Jersey, all summer long, I can walk in a store at any given day. If they are in there in the summer, they are flaming red. You can see them walking around flaming red all summer long, all summer long, but sunscreen is on the shelf and they are still frying out in the sun. It doesn't even matter that the sunscreen is there. Yeah, that's true, Phil. They have a history of getting kicked out everywhere. Those Khazar and Ashkenazi Jews. Yeah, they're just a bunch of Eastern Europeans parading around as Hebrews from the Bible, and there's just no way. They don't fit anything in the Bible. Everything that's described in the Bible about The Jews, they do not fit none of it. It says the Jews are black. They wear black. There's a big difference between wearing black and being black. Okay. That's why they wear all that black and look like undertakers because of what's written in the Bible. The Jews are black. They can't be black, so they wear black. That's why you always see them with those big black hats on and black suits. And the Most High didn't tell us to walk around and look like that. But they fit nothing in the Bible. They fit absolutely nothing in there. That's how you know something is wrong. Yeah, they're nothing but Eastern Europeans. That's all they are. And that's why when you listen to the Israeli music, it sounds just like the Russian music because that's the region they're from. I'm serious. Listen to their music and then listen to Russian music. It's damn near the same. And there's a reason for that because they are practically the same people. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they wear black, but the Jews are black, right? But all they do is wear black. Well, they can't be black, so that's about the closest they're ever going to come is wearing black. But like I said, they look like a bunch of undertakers, and there is nowhere in the Bible where it tells you to wear a black suit every single day with a big black hat and curly serpents on the sides of your head. It doesn't say that anywhere. Yeah, a big portion of Africa is Israel. Absolutely. In fact, the Garden of Eden runs all the way through to Sierra Leone. I mean, that garden was ginormous. It went on for thousands and thousands of miles. It was not no little stretch of land in Iraq. Anybody that tells you that, they don't know what they're talking about. That garden was huge. It spanned across most of Africa. In fact, Uganda, the Garden of Eden is also in Uganda. And you can actually see pictures of it online. And it's right there. But it's we're not really taught where the Garden of Eden is, but a lot of Uganda is part of the Garden of Eden and parts of Sierra Leone is also part of the Garden of Eden. You'd be surprised. Many of the African nations that we look at, all of that, that's part of the Garden of Eden, you know? But, this white man got everything turned upside down. So we're never going to really learn anything as we should unless you take the initiative to go out there and learn it on your own. Unfortunately, that's the only way. And then we pass on a lot of the knowledge to our people. That's the only way it can be done. Yeah, I just can't see them in the middle of Uganda. I think they would have lost their minds around all those dark-skinned black people out there, Pookie Bear. I think they would have lost their mind looking at all them black people. Plus, you can't expel those black people out of Uganda. So they would have had a hell of a time being in Uganda. I think that's why they picked the spot that they're in now. That's why Israel picked that spot. I think they would rather fight those Palestinians than those black people in Uganda. I just think they would prefer to fight them. Well, yeah, that's why I put those videos out, just poking fun at them, like that. Let's say thank you. Come on, say thank you to the builders of Egypt. And I put all that together just to show you they don't match nothing. You're looking at Egypt, those pyramids. It's out in the middle of nowhere. There's no trees out there to shade you. If you were building that place, there's no trees out there for you to even get under any shade. But these people are telling you they are the builders of Egypt. I mean, it's just laughable in itself. Look at where those pyramids are. It's wide open, y'all. No trees, no shrubbery, no nothing. But they want us to believe they were out baking in direct hot sun, building pyramids with no sunscreen and no protection for the skin. And they want us to believe this. We got trees all throughout America and they're still getting burnt. I mean, they literally get burnt in the shade. You can look this up too. They get burnt even if they're in the shade, y'all. So if you get burnt from direct sun and you get burnt even standing in the shade, how did you build Egypt? That's why I come out every now and then with those videos just to make fun of what they're trying to say. They even look, when I was still working in corporate America, y'all, one of the ladies I worked with got burnt driving her car to work. She got a sunburn driving her car to work. Okay. So even if they're behind the wheel driving in their cars, they can still get sunburned during a car ride. And she was all red and burnt up from a car ride. But if I look at that, I'm supposed to believe you built Egypt? Come on. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I used to see white people I worked with those brown patches on their skin, on their faces, all over, on their arms. But at the time, I was pretty young and I didn't know what I was looking at. Now, when I see those brown patches on their skin, I know I'm looking at skin cancer on them. I know I am. In fact, the last woman, I told her, I said, "You got skin cancer?" She said, "Yes." She told me her doctor told her as long as the patch on her don't get bigger, for her not to worry about it. But she actually had skin cancer and knew she was fully aware of it. She had to just make sure the spot never got bigger, but she sure enough had that brown patch on her. Ayapoyapa, you know what? They still try to con black people into believing that we need sunscreen. I just don't pay attention to that talk, but they try to do that. But my thing is, don't put that mess on. If you don't need it, if you haven't burnt your entire life, chances are you're not going to burn now. But yeah, they'll tell black people, oh, everybody should have sunscreen on. Why should everybody have sunscreen on when we already look at you and know sunscreen don't work? Okay. You're telling everybody to put sunscreen on and white people are still burning out in the sun. What with it on? With it on. Okay. So if I'm watching you burn, why would I have to put that on? Why would I even want to put it on after looking at y'all frying up with it on? Sunscreen don't even work for them, y'all. That's the point I'm making. So if sunscreen don't work for them, why would we want to pick up a bottle of sunscreen and put it on? That's true. Mickey Bricks, that's very true. Sun Dodgers, if they were really smart, if they were really smart, y'all, they would be more active at night and stay indoors during the day. I think if they would have done that, there would be less skin cancer. But see, they got to know everything we're doing, everything we're saying, be everywhere black people are. So they're not going to stay in. They're going to risk their life and get skin cancer just to see what black folks are doing all the time. But you would think by now they would realize maybe being out in direct sun is not the right thing for us to do. They don't care. They just continue to do it and continue to get skin cancer. And the skin cancer literally kills them, especially if it's untreated. And see, that's another thing. How did you exist out in Egypt, get skin cancer, and there was no real treatment for skin cancer back then? They can't even survive the treatment today. But you want us to believe you survived skin cancer at a time when there was no sunscreen, no treatment for skin cancer, but you survived that. Yeah, I mean, even when you look at them and put the African music on, and something is just very off. Even the music and looking at them is enough to throw something off. Yeah, well, it's packed with them here, and we're in the Northeast, Cap. They they're walking around with all kinds of skin cancer because I see them in the store. You can walk up to them and see the brown patches on their skin. That's skin cancer. Whenever you look at them and you see them brown spots on their skin, that is skin cancer, y'all. And it's a lot of them walking around here in my state looking like that. And again, that's with sunscreen on the shelf, sunblock on the shelf, tanning oils and all that on the shelf. All that stuff exists. And they're still walking around looking like that. And really, technically, even those tanning beds are too dangerous for them. Many of them are getting advanced skin cancers even from laying in the tanning beds. Yeah, yeah, the Lady of Soul, 502, that just go to show you, it doesn't matter how much it costs, how cheap or expensive the sunscreen is, it simply don't work. It does not work. And if you look at, the video of them in ultraviolet light, the sunscreen just puts them in blackface. They have to make themselves appear black to the sun in order for them not to burn, but technically the sunscreen is not working. And not only that, they got to keep reapplying the sunscreen. It's not like they get up in the morning in the summer and could just put one application on and be good all day. They got to keep reapplying it and reapplying it and reapplying it over and over throughout the day. So if that needs to be done today in 2018, how did they do this out in Egypt and survive with no sun or with no sunscreen? Couldn't have been done, period. Well, that's what if they were, I'm just saying, if they were smart, they would have took themselves out of the sun so much during the day and just been a more active group of people at night. I would have done that. If I would have seen my brothers and sisters burning up in the sun, then common sense should tell you maybe that's not what you should be doing. But them, they, like I said, they're not going to not be around us or not know what we're talking about and what we're doing. So they will risk their lives in skin cancer just to know what them black folks are doing. Well, the IQ test alone is a joke. It was already modified multiple times just so they could pass it. It had to be modified because when they first administered that test, they all failed. They all failed. In fact, it had the opposite effect. We passed and they all failed. So, they weren't going to let that stand. So they had to keep revising it over and over to the point where they could pass, and we didn't do that well on it. So what does that tell you? The test is a bunch of BS. And plus, you don't need a test to measure your intelligence. Where do you see in the past among ancient people they had to take a test? Nobody did that mess. This is just to boost them up into believing they have some false intelligence that they really don't have at all. So it's a load of garbage. Nobody in the world's history ever needed to take an IQ test. It's just a big joke. Steve Bannon looks like a alcoholic to me. He does. Look at him. He looks like an alcoholic. That man ain't looking that way for no reason, y'all. I mean, you can just tell with them, whenever they're alcoholics, they just have a certain look about them. And Steve Bannon has that look. I've seen that look on white males and females, and you can damn near pick their alcoholics out in a crowd. You just can. Am I lying? You can damn near pick their alcoholics out in a crowd. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even their junkies, when that's one thing about them, whenever they are abusing a drug or alcohol, they just got that distinctive look that shows on them, where you can damn near pick out their drunks and their drug addicts in a crowd. If they put them in a crowd, I would be able to pick them all out. That's how easy it is. But yeah, he looks like a drunk. And then when I did an article on him and trunk fighting, Donald Trump having their public spat, it did say that he had a history of alcoholism, Steve Bannon. And I said, I knew it. I knew it all along just from looking at him. I knew it. I think they said he had three marriages and he was abusive to all three wives, and he was an alcoholic. Steve Bannon got a history of being an alcoholic. And I said, I knew that even before I read that article. I said, the moment I saw Steve Bannon, I said, he looked just like a drunk. And sure enough, he got that kind of history that actually came out about him during the time he was fighting publicly with Donald Trump on social media, I should say, or through the media. Well, he's no longer with Breitbart now. Steve Bannon is no longer with Breitbart. See, you think Donald Trump is hitting the coke? I don't. You know what I think it is about King Hebrew? You know what I think Donald Trump is? Donald Trump is just extremely unhealthy. He is one of those people that want to eat what he want to eat, drink what he wants to eat, drink what he wants to drink. And his problem is Donald Trump is fat and Donald Trump is unhealthy. Donald Trump looked like a heart attack waiting to happen. That's how he looks when I look at him. I don't think he's doing drugs. I just think he eats very poorly. And that's why Donald Trump is fat and looks so unhealthy. Yeah, they said 45 lives in McDonald's. That's all he do is eat Big Macs. He loves Big Macs and loves KFC and stuff like that. I think that's his problem. I think that's what Donald Trump's problem is. He's just very unhealthy. His habits are very unhealthy. And you would think somebody that's a multimillionaire would be eating very well, eating right, and he wants to come down and eat like peons. What does that tell you? Yeah, you're right, the ghost. He eats all that fattening stuff and then wash it down with a Diet Coke. That never made any sense to me. But I think that's what Donald Trump's problem is. He's just very unhealthy. You know that saying, you are what you eat? Well, Donald Trump is junk and he looks like junk. Right. He's a toxic dump walking around, Mr. Lawrence 777. He's toxic junk walking around. Exactly right. Well said. Well, you saw what True Royal posted him with the shit stains in his pants. All that shit he eats. I guess he does walk around with shit stains. That was funny. Woo, that one had me rolling. Come on, you can't be a 71-year-old man and continuing to eat junk like that. It's gonna catch up to him. It's gonna catch up to him. I'm serious. Yeah, that's all Trump is a junk food addict. That's what he is. He's a junk food addict. They said even when he's on his jet, they got to have cookies and all kinds of junk that he likes because that's all he wants to eat. They have all kinds of junk on the plane for him because that's all he wants. He said there is no healthy food on those planes when you're on there with Trump. There are no healthy foods on there. It's just a bunch of fattening stuff that he likes to eat. That's why when you look at those body shots of Trump, he's fat. He's fat. That's one thing. He's the total opposite of Obama. Obama was trim, and you can even tell when he was walking across to get on the helicopter. You always saw a full body shot of him and Michelle. They were fit. They were very fit people, if nothing else. But when you look at that same, yeah, bigly, right? Yeah, Trump is bigly. But when you look at that same walk that Trump does to the helicopter, Trump is fat. He's fat. And his people already said he don't exercise at all. Trump do not exercise at all. He just eats junk. Yeah. They said on the campaign trail, Trump used to stop his limo at McDonald's and he would get 2 Big Macs and 2 fish fillets. And they said he got them all the time, 2 Big Macs and 2 fish fillets. And that's how he would actually eat before he went up on the stage to give all of his racist speech. I said, that's probably why he's so damn crazy. He's eating all them GMOs, hormones, chemicals, all them toxins all loaded up in those foods. That's probably why his ass is so crazy today. You don't know how much all those foods that he's eating every day is altering his personality. Well, see, right. Trump likes those women. You ever notice every single woman that Trump loves are the kind that had a lot of plastic surgery done? Those seem to be the only kind of women he's attracted to. In fact, I'm going to show you all this on the screen. I want to show you how much plastic surgery Melania had. I'm going to show you how much she had. When you see her, she don't look nothing like what she used to look like when she was younger. Let me see here. I'm going to put this on the screen. Let's see. Let me share my screen with you. But the only kind of women he's attracted to are the kind that had a lot of surgery done. This is Melania when she was young. This is her pre-Donald Trump days. You see what she looks like? And you just picture what she looks like today. She don't look anything like herself now. But this is what she looked like before all of the plastic surgery, y'all. This is what she looked like. Let me see if I can get more pictures of her. Here's another one. This is Melania. This is what she looks like. And you see what she looks like today. This is what she looks like today. And as you can see, she had everything done. She had a facelift. She had her cheeks done. She had her lips done. You know, everything on her face is done. When you look at her here, she don't look anything like this. It's almost like you're looking at a whole different person. When you look at her today, it's like looking at somebody totally different. But she didn't look anything like that before, y'all. This is facelifts and brow lifts and trimming down the nose, because if you look at her nose here, it's a lot wider and her nose is a lot thinner here. And the lips are done. She done had her whole face completely reconstructed. But she looks nothing like this. Okay. But this is what Melania looked like prior to tons of surgery. But this is what she looks like today. Okay. Her eyes look like that because of facelifts. I've seen that on white women before. When they start looking more Asian around the eyes, that's from a bunch of facelifts and pulling back the brow over and over and over to get that look. But that's what she used to look like. So you can clearly see a lot of work was done on this woman. A lot of work was done on her. But see, that's the kind of women Donald Trump likes. And even Ivanka. No, I'm gonna put it back up because I want you to see pre-surgery Ivanka. Hold on, I'm gonna show you that. Ivanka don't look nothing like she did either. Let me share my screen with you one more time. Let's see. Let me pull up Ivanka. She had a ton of work done herself. Oh, sorry. Get her young picture so you can see what she looked like. Hold on. All right, here's Ivanka. You see how much she looked like her father back then? She looked just like Donald Trump. She done had everything done. She had her same thing, brow lift. She had her nose done. She had her cheeks done. And you see how pointing her chin is? Now look at her after the plastic surgery. Let me see if I can find another. See, she always had sort of like a pudgy kind of face before all the plastic surgery, but this is what she looks like after the plastic surgery. But this is what Ivanka looked like the whole time I saw her growing up. She looks like Donald Trump with blonde hair. That's what she looked like. Here's another picture of her. She always had kind of a pudgy face. So this is what she looked like when I saw her in the news growing up. This is what Ivanka looked like. This is what she looks like after the plastic surgery. And as you can clearly tell, her natural hair is dark. She had her you can see the cheeks were done, the nose was done, even her nose is different, and her mouth was done. All right. But this, she looked like Donald Trump with long hair when you look at Ivanka before all of the plastic surgery. Donald Trump with long hair. That's all. But like I said, Donald Trump don't like anything natural. He likes the your unnatural plastic surgery woman. That's his kind of woman right there. Yeah, she looked like Donald Trump with long hair. That's how she used to look when I used to see her back in the day before she got all the plastic surgery. That's what she looked like. She looked like a female version of Donald Trump. And then she got all of those plastic surgeries done. So now you're looking at the fakery that you're looking at today with him and his wife. And even Ivana Trump. If you look at, I'm not going to pull it up anymore, but look at the old pictures of Ivana Trump prior to plastic surgery. She don't look nothing like the self that she looks like now. She even looks very different from her younger pictures. And then when you look at her after all of the plastic surgery done, she had a lot done to herself too. But those are Trump kind of women right there. If they didn't have a whole bunch of work done on their body, Trump is not attracted to them. But, just understand these women look very different from when they did when they were younger. Very different. But that's how I know Melania had a lot of work done because the more you start seeing her eyes raise up and all slanted looking, that tells you that woman had a lot of work done on her face. And that comes from pulling the brow back. And she's getting that done to keep the wrinkles from showing. That's why white women do that. They'll keep pulling their brow back and having that done with the plastic surgery. If you remember, Joan Rivers had that look too. If you remember, she had that look with her eyes too. They think if they keep going to the plastic surgeon and having their brow lifted, that keeps them looking young, and it doesn't. They start looking almost, it's almost like they're becoming Asian or something. But that's how you can always tell in the eyes. Yeah, they all, I don't think there's anybody from Hollywood or even these white singers that did not have work done. They all had work done. Every last one of them. Well, unfortunately, white women think it makes them look better. But you know what? Aging is always the defining time. That's when they start getting old, they look horrible. That's why so many of them look bad when they get old with all that plastic surgery. They end up looking horror. Oh man, they look like walking horrors. But hey, well, yeah, I don't even pay attention to the Kardashians. I don't find them interesting, y'all. I do not find those women interesting. I think I might have watched one episode of their show, an episode here or there, might maybe more than one, but I don't know about y'all, but I do not find the Kardashians interesting. I just don't think they're very interesting people at all. I don't know what the fascination is about them. And then someone said, "Oh, well, look at them. They're a bunch of plastic surgery too." Kim done had her face done. Look, if you look at what she looked like before and look at what she looked like now, she had a lot of plastic surgery done too. So a woman just can get plastic surgery and put a bunch of hair extensions in and you go nuts off of that? Now, I don't know. I like I said, I watched their show, and to be honest with you, it didn't even keep my attention the few times I watched it. I started doing other things while the show was on. I don't find them fascinating. In fact, I find them to be kind of boring. Not to mention that I don't give a shit about what they do. I don't follow nobody like that. Come on. And I sure wouldn't follow them as a good example of anything. But I don't get the fascination. What's the fascination with them? I mean, to me, they're just a typical Caucasian family that you see on any given day. I just don't see what the big fascination with the Kardashians is. I don't know. Believe me, the aging process is going to catch up with all of those women because they are void of melanin. Just give it another 10 years. I promise you, especially the older Kardashian girls, women, you ain't going to be looking at them anymore. The aging process is going to catch up to all of them. Without melanin, they have no chance of aging well, not without the assistance of plastic surgery. No, they're having all those half black babies to strengthen up their gene pool. Okay, that's why they got it. They want those half black babies. Well, look, even their mom got a black dude now. You know, all right, I'm gonna leave you with this one. All right, y'all. I'm gonna cut on out of here, and we'll definitely be doing this again because I have to have another hangout for the patrons, which I believe I will probably do this coming Saturday. So, we'll gather together sometime Saturday afternoon if you're a patron, and we will do um, some more hanging out and just shooting a breeze with each other. Because, with my patrons, we actually have different kind of hangouts. We don't have the same kind of hangouts that I have with the rest of you. So, well, yeah, you got to understand everything in this society is turned upside down. This is why the side chick is the star now. The whore is the star. they have completely taken over everything with the side chick and the whore. So, that's all this country does. They turn everything upside down, and the good, decent women are being pushed more and more in the shadow. That's how it is here. If you are good and you do the right thing and you try to live your life right, they don't want you. They want the side chick and they want the whore and the hood rat. Those are now your top women in the country, or the only kind of women they want to put on mainstream media. But you all have a good day. Thank you for coming. I do deeply appreciate it. And let me see something here. Did I miss something? No. Okay. And I will see you, if you're a patron, on the next live stream on Saturday. And the rest of you, enjoy the rest of your week. Peace, family.